Welcome to another Webflow Workshop. I'm your host, Nelson. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We got a good show this week. We have a special guest, one of the three co-founders of Webflow, and he's also the gatekeeper for the template marketplace. He's the one who says yes or no. But yes, Sergie Magdalin, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to help and answer any questions and inspire the masses. And I watch so much Gladiator that I've always wanted to do this. And then, okay, never mind, you're good.
So that's what you do every time you look at a template?
Yeah,
You just
I
do that
make
in your
people.
own room?
That's right. I just enjoyed like just moving my thumb around. Really, that's really has no purpose.
Awesome. Well, this week's topic is all about designing Webflow templates for the Webflow marketplace. It's a fairly new marketplace, and it's still growing, and there's lots of room. There's lots of opportunity for you guys to upload your templates and sell them in our marketplace. And so we're going to talk to Sergie on best practices to make that happen, to make sure that he puts his thumb up for your template. So let's get to it. First, if you don't know who Sergie is, let's get some backstory on how he got a part of Webflow. So yeah, how did you get part of Webflow? Like, how did you and your brother start this? A short version of your story in Webflow.
Short version. I used to do a lot of UI design. I kind of started a company with a dude in San Diego, and we were working on a surf shop, and then it turned into a skate shop, and then it turned into a online skate longboard website. Online website that allows you to build longboards. Some people have heard of it. It's called mirrorskate.com. So I worked on that for probably 7 years. I really kind of honed my design skills there. And one time I was afterwards, I was kind of done with college. I was like, I want to kind of work in the tech industry a little bit more. And my brother was like, hey, I have this idea. I want to empower designers to build kind of websites and web applications without coding. So it's kind of like a design tool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that sounds freaking awesome. And we started talking about it, and then eventually moved up to San Francisco, and we kind of worked a lot on trying to set up a Kickstarter campaign.
No.
And the Kickstarter that took a lot of effort, but it just didn't pan out because supposedly Kickstarter doesn't like to fund software subscription services. So we're like, okay, that makes sense. So we started to look into YC, and then we got into YC. We got funding, kind of like a good amount of money to start with and to hire a few people, and that was really cool. We brought on Bryant, our other co-founder, and the rest is history. Just kind of building the product. Really listening to the community and seeing what the designers out there want to build, and kind of taking in stages and trying to take over the world. So, yeah.
Nice. So like I said, that's a very shortened story. Thank you so much. If you want to hear more about it, there's a longer version of the whole Webflow birth and whatnot, going through YC and all that stuff. I'll post the link in the description box or in the show notes, and it's a great video on TechCrunch. And if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead, Google search it if you want later on. TechCrunch Webflow is probably what you can find. But yeah, now that we know how Webflow started, it has a template marketplace, and we want your templates on this marketplace so you can make money. We want to give you guys this opportunity to be in a marketplace and start doing what you love to do, making websites and letting people use your websites, for their awesome projects. So first, Sergie, what type of templates are still needed in the marketplace?
So first, I want to mention we opened up the marketplace probably a year into us launching,
Oh,
and we were kind of trying to solve the problem of people coming in and not knowing where to start. So with Webflow, it's awesome that you can build sites from scratch, right? But also, a lot of designers want to kind of work with something that's already designed and then customize it. And when we first started, we've been building static templates for the longest time. So static templates are just kind of, you create a page, you create styles, and there's no dynamic kind of the CMS component added on.
yeah.
And recently we released the CMS part, the database functionality to the websites.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we've been kind of more or less not really focusing on the static websites because the CMS is so powerful.
Yeah.
Anybody can come in, choose a template, and kind of add the content that is important. For example, there's a lawyer template, right? Any law firm or a designer for a law firm can choose that template, and they don't have to use Webflow, the design tool, because it can be daunting. They can just go to the editor and add, let's say, a new service for the law firm.
Yeah.
They add the content and a page is created for them, and all the design is already kind of baked in. So really what we're trying to solve two different kind of use cases for the template marketplace. It's for the people that want an all-in-one solution, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's for designers that build sites for their clients that want to start with a good solution for them.
It's a great starting place for people in that industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And some of the what we started out with a lot of different, I'd say a lot of agency templates, some business templates, and with the kind of the CMS blowing up, we have been adding so many cool templates. And the cool thing with the CMS is that it allows you to structure your content in any way. And there's so many different types of websites with so many different types of content. And the type of kind of templates we're looking for right now, you can actually kind of see a list if you go to webflow.com/templates/submission guidelines.
Submission dash guidelines.
Yeah, or you can go to the templates homepage and then scroll to the very bottom, and there should be a link that says
There we go.
see how. Yeah, want to sell your own templates, and then click on see how, and then here we kind of break down everything that a template designer would need to get started.
Mm-hmm. And looking at some of the requested templates, and some people are just listening, not watching. So on the screen, I have a list of the missing templates, and I'll just say the top three. It's school and education CMS templates, wedding CMS templates, and UI component templates, kind of like startup framework. So, yeah. If let me see, if I search for education, I'm guessing, am I gonna see anything?
Nope.
So there you go, guys. Education, no results found. So like I said, lots of opportunity for you guys to make awesome templates. But first, when you make a template, let's talk about how to make it right. And some of these tips can actually, if you're not going to make a template, some of these tips that we learned from Sergie could actually benefit you as a Webflow designer as a whole. So one thing that always goes through my mind when I'm starting a site and I start naming all my elements in the selector panel, how do you name your classes? Like, is there a certain way that you name your elements?
Naming classes is one of the last things we look at when we look at a template.
Okay.
Do you want to first talk about kind of what we look for in a template, or do you want to just like know how I name classes
Okay,
specifically?
yeah. So maybe I was going too detailed. Yeah. So more high level. What do you look for when approving a template?
Okay, so the first thing we do is there's a lot of template designers or just designers that just think, oh, I want to create a template, make some residual income on the side. What we usually do is we look at their portfolio and just get a sense of their design background and how they kind of design in general. Some of the things we look for is how good are you at layout? Throughout all your projects that we kind of see in your portfolio. How good are you at structuring different types of content? Are you able to create a cohesive kind of theme in a template? Are you able to think about responsive design? Because I mean, all of our templates are responsive. The
Yeah.
world is responsive now, so we make sure that template designer is very conscious of that and kind of has good solutions for that. So that's the first thing we do. And the people that pass our kind of design review, um, they kind of send us ideas like, hey, I want to build a template like this. Is it okay if I build it? And then we say, yeah, sounds great. You do awesome work. Go for it. First, send us some idea of like what. There's so many ways you can tackle it, a website or a template, right?
Yeah.
And some of the important things to think about is what are you building and what kind of content will it have. That's the number one. I'd say that's the number one thing when you're building a website in general. What's
Yeah.
your content and how are you structuring that content?
Yes.
And if you're a good web designer, you'd be a great website template builder. um, and for example, you take one vertical like restaurants.
Yeah.
Restaurants a good one, right? We have several restaurant templates, and they all kind of have different layouts, but they have a very similar kind of content structure because a lot of websites have very similar type of content, right? So what the template designer should do is do some research and look at some restaurant websites, like real restaurant websites, and see what kind of content do they have, what kind of actions do people take on there, what kind of, I guess, how's the content usually presented, what pages are there usually, and so it really kind of you have to put yourself in the shoes of a restaurant business owner
Yeah.
and see what kind of information do I want to present to my customers. And so the first important thing is content, right? Like
Yeah.
structuring that content. And so we work with the template designer to figure out, or the template designer does the research and then they present it to us and says, hey, I want to build a restaurant template and this is the type of content I want to showcase. Here are the types of pages and the kind of features I want to kind of build into it. And we say, that sounds great. There's some template designers that jump the gun and they just send us a template and we're like, okay, take a step back.
Yeah.
um, have you thought about this? It seems that you haven't thought about this. And I think the biggest one is since most of these template designers have kind of passed the design review, is thinking about the structure of the content and what kind of content is important for that type of template. So yeah.
So just reach out to you. So I didn't know that because before I got on the team with Webflow, I tried my hand in trying to submit a template and got denied. And yeah, it's
Sorry.
tough. No, it's a good thing because you're only letting through quality, and I'm not a good template designer because um it's just one of those things. It's like, how do I get myself in a mindset of an industry that I'm not very familiar with,
But
but I
no,
just want
but
to,
Nelson,
huh?
you're a good designer.
No.
If you're a good designer, you could be trained to be a good template designer.
Yes, I need more of that training.
I will train you, little
Yeah.
one.
Well, thank you, Obi-Wan. But yes, content first, and that's with everything. And so, yeah, So people should just who should they email when they have an idea? With not a template, but just an idea for a template.
Well, first they should kind of talk to us and send their portfolios to us.
Ah,
And
portfolio
so
first.
yes, always portfolio first, just to, because a lot of times it's we work with this designer, and once they're in our kind of process, we want to let them loose. Once they get the system down, we don't want to restrict the template designer. We want to say, hey, if you see an opportunity, just go for it and build it. And a lot of our designers, they they just send us like, hey, what about this type of template? And we're like, yes, like we've like the marketplace has been lacking in that area, and that'd be awesome. Like for example, here's a good example. Rowan just launched a UI kit website template.
Oh, okay.
And it's higher, it costs more than the other templates, but it's also doing very well because anybody can come in and say, hey, this has a lot of different variations, a lot of different layouts. I can create any type of vertical with this kind of template. So UI kits are kind of a new thing, and we think they're going to be even more popular over time. And so, yeah, Rowan's a good example of he's just kind of seeing the opportunity, and because we've already reviewed him and vetted him, there's much. It's much more hands off. So yeah, first the portfolio, and then we kind of sign off, and then you send your idea.
Okay. Yeah. So get your portfolios ready for Sergie and make sure that, that it looks good and he wants to give you the next step. So, yeah, there's a lot of it seems like a lot of steps, but man, it makes sense because we want quality stuff in the marketplace. And it shouldn't deter any of you who are just starting out. This should be a good roadmap for you guys to achieve because we want to help you guys, but we want to help you guys be awesome at building templates.
That's
So,
right.
getting more detailed, you know, well, just a general thing that I have issues with
Mhm.
naming classes, and I think a lot of people in the forums have asked this too. Just
Totally.
what do you do when you name classes? Because you can name it anything you want.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I struggle with the same thing too, and there's a lot of different kind of new, not very new, but a lot of different naming methodologies or just styling um, kind of strategies out there. And one of them is it's called BEM components, and it's kind of it tries to categorize your styles into kind of big pieces and then smaller pieces and smaller components and things like that. So a good example is, and I kind of see that as a good inspiration for what I do, and this is what I do a lot, is I always start with thinking about components. So in any website, there's components. Okay? And to take a button, for example, you have let's say you have just a round, solid blue button with white text inside.
Yeah.
I would call that just button, right? And then let's say there's another button that's hollow. I would say that's a button and it's hollow. So it's a button component, but it's hollow, right?
Okay.
And so what I do is actually I create different classes for those because it's just easier to manage.
Yeah.
I'd rather just have one button and that just has the button class, and then the hollow button would be button hollow, and that just would be the button hollow class. Sometimes I would add like a combo class, but that sometimes could get confusing, and then like trying to figure out where the styles come from and then inheritance and things like that. So
Interesting.
so for every new component, I try to create a new class. And over time, we'll make that easier by in the style panel by making it easier to duplicate classes.
Yes. Oh.
There's a lot of management that we kind of like style management that we want to work on, and we've been working on for a long time, and it's on our roadmap, and that will make it a lot easier. But yeah, there's so many things like you have a sign up section, right? I would call that if it's a section inherently, I would call it section, and then I would have section and then space sign up. So whenever I am creating a new kind of page, I would drop in kind of a new thing, and I'm like, oh, what is this? Oh, it's a section. And I type in section, I see, oh, there's section sign up. Oh, there's section header. Oh, there's section this, section that, section that. So I can see just by kind of a search of my styles, which component I want to use there. And then there's where it gets a little bit more tricky is with kind of the elements inside of an element. Let's say you have a call to action section on your website, right? And this call to action, there's like a field inside of there, an input field with a sign up button. But those look different than, let's say, other fields, right? What I would do is I would say this is an input, and then I would call it kind of I would just give it a special name. So the class would actually be input, and then call to action. If it looks different than all the other inputs, because I don't want to. If that's the only place where it's going to exist in that place, so I wouldn't want to add the input button. Like it depends. There's times where it makes sense to just add a combo class and say, oh, this is call to action, and it overrides some styles.
Yeah.
But some cases where I know that this style is going to be used in a lot of different places, it's just easier to manage.
Yeah.
To just have individual classes for individual components.
Yeah.
So
I guess
so that's it. So you can try that, see if that helps you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's we work with like the sites we work with. We have to pass around, and several different designers use it on our team. Like for example, our help site, right? Or our marketing site. Our marketing site is a huge Webflow project, and I'd say like 5-6 different people edit it, use it, design it. So being able to create like a simple, just component-based style structure, kind of to us makes sense. But here's the thing, like this is a hard problem to solve in general, and we're trying to figure out how to incorporate things like a style guide view inside Webflow that would allow you to.
That would be cool.
Allow you to see all your styles in the context of what where they live and all that. So we're excited about solving the problem a little bit better. So
cool. So let's go to the questions inside the chat room. I think we have 2. Naweed asks, how many template rejections are allowed? I'm guessing he really wants to try and wants to make sure. I doubt there's a 3 strike rule or something, but like.
In terms of how many templates you could submit and then get rejected and then keep submitting them, we don't really have a rule. If you submit 10, we reject all 10, and then you submit 1, and we're like, oh, this guy's like learning how to structure his content. He's learning how to build his site in a more responsive way. We're like, this is a great template. I mean, we'd work with that. But I would say we would usually, if you're rejected, it's usually rejected because your experience and your portfolio. If you are rejected there, then wait a little bit and then submit it again and say, hey, I've been building this and this templates. I'm learning this and this. How about now? And then we re-review. So
everything starts out with your portfolio. So now we get that portfolio up, send it over to templates@webflow.com, and get the ball rolling. Make some money. Yeah. Vladimir is asking, what is better? And I'm not sure what he means, but maybe you can figure it out. It's traditional more style text or more modern text for the marketplace.
I think the question is it sans serif type fonts or serif type fonts? It doesn't really matter. If all you're using is Times New Romans on your entire site, then I don't know, maybe that's like a red flag. So usually, I mean, that's one of the things we look at. We look at how well you can pair fonts and how you use different type of typography throughout your site for different purposes, right?
Hmm.
And sometimes a serif font would look great for like a heading, or a good slab serif would look good for a like some body copy, or any kind of like good like what's there's some really good like Volcorn and uh, PT serif that are good for, you know, just body copy on websites, and I've used them in templates before. So yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's just how you use them, and if there's a good balance. And I would just say keep experimenting with different types of fonts, and be unique. Be unique and be legible. That's the
Yeah.
important thing.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Just no comic papyrus, right?
Um, I've seen it. I've seen it done well, but it's very rare.
Really, I want to see that.
Comic
Yeah, it's all about just the context, right? And like what industry you're using the type for, the type of font that you're using. You know, you don't want to use the wrong type of font style for an industry that, you know, it doesn't make sense. For example, I whenever I drive to my wife's parents' place, there is a church that uses Comic Sans on their signage, and it's a church where that one should be more of a serif type font, something, you know.
But who are they? But who are they marketing to? Who knows? Maybe there's people that love Comic Sans, and they're gonna look at that billboard and be like, "Wow,
That's
I want to go there." Who knows?
apparently it's
But
still working, and it's working for them.
hopefully, it was an intentional decision. That's the thing.
Oh man, we got another question. Construction safety. Oh, always be safe. What is best practices for adding images? Best practices for adding images.
What do you mean? What kind of images?
Yeah,
Where? Like
can
to make them responsive, or
yeah. If you can rephrase that, yeah. Let's see here. Does phrase "we didn't see the design experience"?
and
We didn't
design
see
policy.
the Anna is asking, we didn't see the design experience and general design polish that we look for, meaning that the portfolio has been rejected.
Yeah, so that's one of the things we tell people that when we reject portfolios is, um, hey, we just say, hey, look at our current templates. That's the level of quality we look for. We don't see the type of that level of polish and that level of design experience. And it kind of boils down. So some of the stuff I mentioned earlier, when we do the portfolio review, we look at the designer's ability to have very clean layouts. For example, one of the things is like spacing, right? If I'm looking at a website and the spacing is inconsistent, like in one section you have 20 pixel padding on the top and bottom, and then another section it's much smaller, and there's no consistency there. That's usually a red flag for us. Or if you have kind of a certain layout and there's we noticed that you didn't have any spacing on like the top, and it's kind of jamming against an image.
Yeah.
We're kind of like that's hard to, that doesn't look professional, or it's hard to digest that kind of information. So we kind of look at just general design principles that doesn't come from web design, but just comes from print design even.
Yeah.
Just how well is it laid out? How to use color? Things like that. So
Yeah.
that's usually what we look for when we look at people's portfolios.
Yeah. But don't let it discourage you guys, because again, we're here trying to help you become a badass web designer. So, you know, if you don't get a yes, keep going, because that just means that you're going to be better at your next try. And if you still don't get a yes, you're going to be better even the next try. And, you know, it's all about learning, and no one becomes a rock star overnight. Keep hearing this. It's a cliche, but here it goes. It takes 10 years to become an overnight success. So
Overnight success.
yeah.
For those template designers that have received a rejection and they're kind of like wondering what's the next step. I would say there's a lot of good Tuts Plus blog posts and tutorials that kind of break down different aspects of design. So they break down kind of typography, how to think about typography, how to even use line spacing. Because a lot of times, like I see a template and the line spacing is like just hard to read because it's so kind of jam packed together. How to think about layout, spacing, how to be consistent with, I don't know, like baseline text and keep that spacing consistent with other spacing around the site. And in terms of, trying for the templates to be modern and, look hip and stuff, we do kind of take into consideration, is this going to be a template that sells, or is this a template that maybe looks like it was made like 5 or 6 years ago? Like, does it have that like design quality, those details that make people think like, wow, this is cool. I want this for my business, my website. We do think about that too. And so, a great place to get inspiration. There's a lot of great places to get inspiration from, but
Let's take two more questions. Construction safety. We'll take yours. Should we use free images, Creative Commons in the templates? Yeah. I know you can answer this one. So that's what he's asking about, like using images in your templates.
yeah, totally. Image licensing is very important because we are selling these templates to people, and when someone buys a template, they assume that everything is theirs. So if it's Creative Commons zero, so any use type of templates for commercial and personal use, like Unsplash, there's template designers that throw those into the templates, and it's totally fine. We have, for every template, we have a kind of license page where when a template has commercial, like the images that aren't CC0 that actually require a license, they list all of those in that page and in the footer, explaining that you actually have to purchase this image for you to use it for your website.
Okay. All right. Last question. I'm gonna take it from someone who hasn't asked yet. Anton. Um, how important is one's advanced knowledge of Webflow prior to submitting a portfolio?
It's not really required. The reason being, so for example, if we find that you have a great design background and you have a great portfolio, but you don't have you just started in Webflow, that isn't. We see your design experience as like the most important thing, and we think that you can learn Webflow pretty quickly. And there's a lot of it may take a little bit for you to learn kind of how to create your website and make it responsive. We're trying to, obviously always trying to create good education and good tutorials for that. But we assume, we have this assumption that you can learn the tool and you can build, versus the other way around. It's usually harder if you know Webflow, but you struggle with the design aspects of it, like layout and things like that, or like spacing, color. That would be harder, because you'd have to learn kind of the graphic design principles, and that also takes time. So in my opinion, if you're a designer that's used to learning tools anyways, because part of a designer's job is always learning new tools, to kind of show proofs of concepts and things like that, that not knowing Webflow is not a big deterrent.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for all the inspiration and all the tips and whatnot. Thank you so much, Sergie. Is there anything else you want to say to the live chat room before we let you go?
I'd like to answer more questions if that's possible.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you had to go or something, but sure.
No problem. I have like 5 more minutes.
All right, let's get two more questions. Okay, we're gonna go back up to let's see here, Vladimir again. Are we allowed to use VH, VW, viewport height, or viewport width for the whole site if we are building a template?
Yes, you are. You're totally allowed to do that. It's supported. There are certain units that aren't supported across like maybe even IE11 or some other ones. So I would just do research if maybe that's like Vmax that's not supported. So yeah, those are totally supported, and they're very useful, especially when doing kind of the mobile views of different headers. Those are great units.
Okay. Let's go. Now when a template is available for sale, can the designer get access to analytics and sales support or sales reports?
Yeah, so right now our kind of sales reporting isn't very built out, but you do get notifications for every sale, and you have kind of like a list of all the different sales you get, which is helpful. And we do send analytics for the top searches that we get in the template marketplace, top searches that have 0 results, and other kind of data that you can just ask and we'll give it to you.
Cool, cool. And I think this will be the last one. What about using Google Material Design principles in Webflow?
So Google Material Design, if you look at their specs, it's awesome how they created a super thorough style guide of motion and color and mainly motion principles. That's a little bit harder to implement in something like Webflow with our current tool set. And it's mainly created for mobile.
Yeah.
So you could take some of those principles and try to apply it to a website. I would imagine it's not like a one for one, but if you want to, there's a lot of templates out there and a lot of websites that try to create really awesome interactions with, like, when you click on like a menu bar, your whole page kind of flows in, or
Yeah.
some cool stuff happens. And part of that is inspired by material design. Part of it's just inspired by other interactions. But yeah, it's up to you. It's kind of one way of approaching interaction design. So you could play around with it. And I would say when it comes to templates, I would think less about what kind of style of interaction or style guide, or different company style guides to use, and instead think more about for this type of vertical, let's say a university website template or something, what kind of content do they need? How should I lay out that content that helps that content shine for that customer or for the visitors of that website? And yeah, that's more important, I'd say.
Okay. All right. Well, we still have questions coming in, and it's up to you. I don't know how much time you have with us. You did say 5 minutes, and
Let's see.
there's two more.
Keep going. Ask, can you have a portfolio only made in Webflow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why not. There's a lot of awesome portfolios made in Webflow.
No, he's asking.
Can you have a portfolio only made in Webflow?
Yeah, like when you're submitting your portfolio, does it have to be made in Webflow?
Oh no, you could. It doesn't have to be made in Webflow.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
what I thought too.
Gotcha.
Ben Ward, with the release of dynamic embeds, I was wondering if e-commerce templates would be allowed on the template marketplace.
That's a good question. We were also thinking the same thing. The problem is it's a big UX hurdle it's just a complicated experience to manage e-commerce on, like, the e-commerce CRM on one platform, and then manage design on one. So, for example, you could incorporate Shopify into your website template, but we'd have to create all this instructions for you this is how you create an account. This is how for every product you create, you have to copy an ID from this specific page and paste it over. And then if it's a mismatch in the IDs, then things can break, and there's just a lot to manage, and it's not easy. Yeah. And so, as a template, the whole point of a template is for it to be kind of easy and for it to be kind of done for you. So we're thinking of ways to incorporate. E-commerce is a huge request, and we're thinking about ways to incorporate that, or maybe build an MVP solution. We're still kind of doing research and figuring out what will work. So
Cool. Last two. What browsers should we make sure the site released? No, sorry. What browsers should we make sure the site works in, especially Internet Explorer?
so we kind of drop support for Internet Explorer 10 and below. So for the most part, I would check Chrome. I would check Firefox. You could check IE11 as well. But I wouldn't worry too much about that, because for the most part, the layouts or the kind of CSS properties are supported across all of them. So
Except for Flexbox
except for Flexbox.
on IE11, that just gets buggy, and so
Yeah, I mean, you could build a website without Flexbox. It's not a big
yeah,
deal.
yeah. Last one, Naweed. Is there any exciting features being released within the next few weeks? And we get this every week, and yeah, we just released the settings panel inside of the CMS panel, so that's pretty cool. Your clients can finally get access to their SEO settings and Open Graph and whatnot without having to call you up and go into the designer tool. So there's that. But can you give us anything, Sergie?
Man, we're working on some really cool stuff. So there's some things on our roadmap, and we get this request a lot of how do you add different files to your website? How do I upload a PDF? How do I upload this? How do I upload that? So we've been tackling that for a while in terms of creating a design solution. Yeah, that's kind of in the works. It's a big project though, because it's a big reorganization. It's like we're totally rebuilding our asset manager. So there's no ETA on that, but that's definitely something
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking for it in the help tickets and on the forums and the chat rooms and whatnot. Yeah, it's something that we understand and we want to tackle it. But as with everything we do here in Webflow, we want to tackle it the right way to make sure that it's intuitive enough that you guys aren't confused on how to use it, and quality versus quantity. So we'll get it done. Thank you so much, Sergie, for your time. It's been fun and enlightening. And hopefully we can get more templates in there. Show off your portfolio to templates at webflow.com. Thank you so much, Sergie.
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Yeah. Thank you, everyone in the chat room. So at this point, if you want to submit your work, what are you working on? What are you working on right now on Webflow? Show it off. Let's show it to the community. Let me see what you're doing. And yeah, I'll go through your questions. Any other questions you might have about Webflow? These last 15 minutes are for you. I usually open up the floor. And you know what? I want to start this up a little bit more. If you guys, here, let me do this. If you guys want to get on the air with me, here's the link. Yeah, call in. I want to meet you guys. You guys are the community behind Webflow. You guys make Webflow happen. All right, Billy William. Hi, I'm a freelance web designer. Cool. Nice, clean, and this is what Sergio was talking about, all the spacing and keeping it clean. All right, nice work. Okay, let's see here. View my work. Billy William, why is it BK? I'm wondering. Interesting. All right, what can I do for you? All right, nice. It's a good start. Great start so far. No complaints and nothing I can say. If you want to take a little step further, maybe a background video of yourself, maybe pushed in the background where you're kind of like you're out of focus, but it is you, and so a looping background video, something like that. So good job, Billy. Let's see here. Anything else? Let's see. I'm in the process of building my portfolio. Let me double check your website on my other computer. If you're sending in links, make sure it's a webflow.io link, because I want to make sure that it is safe for work. So hold on, let me check it. DerekNelson.me. Oh, well then. Yeah, let's. Ooh, okay, nice one. DerekNelson.me. Here we go. Okay, one thing, you have a little horizontal scroll happening here. So you might want to fix that. Not sure what's making that happen, but dude, this is nice and clean. And I'm guessing this is you. Nice photo of yourself. You're thinking. That's nice. I love the color scheme. This has got to be Flexbox. This is pretty. Great job. Oh, this is nice. See, and this is what I mean by if you've seen some of my past broadcasts, telling a story first rather than, hey, hire me, and here's my work. This is what I mean by telling a story. Just this first hero row, it's telling a story. Hi, my name is Derek. This is what I do. And then the photo, like they say, a photo is worth 1,000 words. And so it's like, this kind of makes me think that he is thinking. He's always in thought, and he likes to work, And then here's his work. Now, I'm not saying write a whole novel before you get to your work page, but something that tells people who you are. Just something small. So great job, Derek. Okay, let me go to the contact. Okay, it just scrolls down. Really nice. Great job. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Portfolio NS89. Naweed. Let's do this. Yeah. Nice logo. Cool. Playing with type. Okay. Nice. I like it. Nice and clean. And maybe you could push this even further, What if you were in here somehow? It doesn't have to be primarily focused on you, but like you in thought, you in your work. Because to me, this is very basic. It's a table with a laptop and a computer. You're doing work, cool. But I want to know who you are. Tell me your story, So maybe that can help push this even further. Let's see here. Sergie, is it a little wrong? Is it a little at the wrong door? But I will ask Tel probably. There is a way to add slideshow to database CMS. Yes. Great question. You cannot use any of our components natively in Webflow with your dynamic collections. That is something we are actually building functionality for in the background. So yeah, I would really want that, like tabs and sliders and whatnot to work with dynamic, especially lightboxes to work with dynamic collections. And I remember when the CMS was still we were still testing it before it came out, and we were able to use lightboxes with our dynamic collections, but it would always break. Like we'd push a code, and next thing you know, it'd break. We'd push another code, and it's fixed, and it just kept going like up and down, and we're like, okay, it's unstable, so we have to nix it. And then they found a way to make it better, so that's what we're working on right now. Hello, Christopher. Hey, Uber Geeky. Hey, Nelson. If I'm on a lower plan than a team plan, can I upgrade to the team plan and then downgrade after I've received some help? Yeah. So team plans and individual plans, which are starter, personal, and professional, they're completely different. Okay. So team plan, it just means that you can have multiple seats sharing the same dashboard, whereas individual plans, starter, personal, professional, you are the only one who can see that dashboard. Now, you can connect individual plans to a team plan no matter what type of plan that individual plan is on. Okay, so if you get a team plan, you can cancel your individual plan down to the starter free plan and still have all the functionality of the team plan. I know it might get kind of confusing, but check our help docs, help.webflow.com, and just search for team plans, and it'll make more sense. Super work, Derek. Yes, thanks, Johnny. Moi.webflow.io. Okay, let's try that one. Oh, cool. This has personality. Like it. That's nice. Oh, dude, this logo. Hold on, guys. Hold on, this logo. At first, I thought it was a yin and yang. But it's a woman. It's a lady, and that's the solid part is the hair. And oh my god, that's cool. Great job. Let's see here. I like the playful colors right here. People jumping, it makes it more playful. So yeah, great photography. That's what she said. Great job. Nice. Using Typeform, awesome. Yeah, if you guys are trying to make complex forms with Webflow, I would suggest using Typeform instead, because you can it's more conversational, you know, like interested to learn. Hi, I'm, and then your name, and I'd like to learn. And so see, it's more conversational rather than put your stuff here, put your data here, put your data here. This is really cool. Great job with this one. Photography. Yes, photography makes websites whoa, that's cool. Is that Guardians of the Galaxy? Huh. Great job. Great job. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, I see nothing wrong with this site. Great job. Oh, this has got to be CMS. Yeah. Great job. Oh man, I'm so happy about this site. Great job. Yeah, when you push it live, let us know. Tweet us at Webflow app when you push it live, so we can. I'll see if the guys would feature it. All right, a fragrant. Oh no, Anne Fernie Grant. Okay, sorry if I messed up your name. Anne Fernie. Okay, got it. Oh, it's like Anthony, but Anne Fernie. I get it. Okay. Cool. It's kind of jittery. I don't know why. It's not smooth. But now it is, but it's not. I think the reset. Okay, you need to fix your hover out state right here. See how it kind of jumps back rather than gradual like the hover in? Yeah. So you need to fix your hover out state. But it's working. That's weird. Yeah, you might want to check your interactions. But yeah, dude, this is cool. Ooh, that hover. So your current class right here, it's kind of weird. If you look at what's happening to the border bottom, it's kind of growing slow. I'm not sure if that's intentional. Maybe it's my computer. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. Love the layout. Let me see here. I like how when you click... That's nice. So when you click, you have an interaction happening on click, and then... Oh, you have a progress bar at the top. Oh, man. Okay, a lot of things are happening. I like it. Great photography. I'm guessing this is you. So you paid a photographer, or you have a photographer friend, and this is why photography makes a website. It adds more to your site, um, and makes it that much better. So great job, Anthony. Keep going. I like the color choices, and it reminds me of Craig Teal. And I always refer to his site because his site always makes me laugh. But yeah, like the copy on his site. Oh, it's not loading. Come on, faster. Oh well, take a look at that site. It's pretty funny. Um, let's see here. Good advice. I'm working on making version 2 more personal. Hi, this is my first complex site. I just about to finish. I'll be glad. Any comment on it? TM Budapest. All right, let's see what you're doing. Okay. Cool. Great start. Okay. Wait, what? That was weird. How come it started at the bottom? Oh, okay. So right here, you have an autofocus set on your input. So make sure that you turn off that autofocus because it's auto scrolling down. You want to start the page here and not here because it looked broken. Okay, so turn off that autofocus and that'll fix that issue. Yeah, great so far. Great choice on the stock photo. Good spacing. I would use more spacing at the top and bottom of this section, because like Sergie was saying, the spacing needs to be consistent. For example, the spacing between this text and the top nav is different than the spacing between this bottom copy and this space right here. And then we have different spacing, like this one is one size and then this one is a different size. So see what I mean? And this is what we're talking about. So be consistent with your spacing. Okay, don't be afraid to put a lot of space. So there we go. See, this space right here is different to this space. So yeah, this is what we're talking about. And again, this isn't meant to be like, oh, your designs aren't good. We want you to become better. All right. Cool. Let me take 2 more links or questions. Let's see. Question Naweed's asking, I'm on a pro plan, but I can't see the option to transfer a website to another user. Does Webflow handle this? You should be able to handle it, but send an email to support@webflow.com and I'll check out what's going on. In-house Jay Gannon via is self-hosted video via Amazon S3 really tough to do with Webflow? Any recommended tips? Jay Gannon, if you haven't heard, we have background videos now, and your video gets hosted on your Webflow site, so you don't have to do any self-hosted video for background videos. Now, if you're looking for a way for videos with sound and everything, why not just use YouTube? It's free, and it handles that for you. So here's what I'm talking about for you, Jay Gannon. Thanks for the words. What a boost. Oh, you're welcome, sir. Suffree Suff? Yes. Webalon. I've designed a service website in Webflow, and I need to implement a user login registering with a search for people nearby. Stuff, is it possible to pitch it to a developer? So yeah, we don't have a way that you can make a full-on web app, but you can export the front-end design and leave blank divs for your developer. And so when you export it, you're giving your developer the basic HTML, CSS, JS, and images, and they can fill in all the server-side code and dynamic code and JS and whatnot, and upload that code into another server, and then make it work like make it work for your web app. Okay, so use Webflow as mainly your front end, and then export it and give it to your developer so they can do all the back end. Okay. And for more information, let me give you the link for that too. Export, and you can take a look. An example of the exported code on that page right here, so you can download that and see what you get when you export a site. Thanks for all the tips. Thanks, Webflow here. I will show you my work as soon as possible. Have a nice day or evening. Thank you, Johnny, for joining us. All right. How do I share my site link? It keeps getting blocked. Make sure to add webflow.io to your... There it goes. Just finished my second... So it's workgreat.webflow.io. Workgreat.webflow.io. All right, this is the last link I'm taking. And I'll take one or two more questions. Nice. Cool. It's fixed nav. Modern system to manage your business. If you can, maybe put a background video to kind of explain from a high level what your modern system is. Because right now I see a gradient blue box in front of me. And so what does that mean to me? If I didn't read this, it means nothing. And you only have about 6 seconds to tell people who you are. So if I go to webflow.com, people who don't know who we are, they kind of get a gist because we have a background video. We say the all-in-one web design platform. And so we have a video in the background kind of showing from a high-level abstract point of view of what it can do, and that's always looping in the background. So this is why background videos are very powerful, is because it'll keep the user there for a little bit more than 6 seconds, because it's like, okay, what's happening in the background? Maybe this is relevant to me because the copy is kind of explaining what's happening in the background, and vice versa. The background's explaining what this copy means. Let me scroll down. Oh, there's another video. What is Webflow? Let me start playing that video. So to here, try to explain it with a photo or a background looping video. Okay? But as we scroll down, yeah, okay. Now it's making more sense. Oh, nice. These are tabs. Great job with it. And also, when you guys... There we go. I was looking for a person. So, websites should always have a human on it, because humans like to see humans. And so, it makes it more personable. Good job so far. Let's check out pricing. Nice. 3 columns. Alright, watch out for... Oh... Okay, I thought that was I thought that was the default blue. Alright. Cool, great job. Okay, watch out for your bullet points. These are centered. And then like you have this one, it's kind of weird. I would align these to the left because the bullet points, it just looks kind of off. But that's a small thing. All right, great job so far. Okay, if there's no more questions or anything for me to... this right here. Okay. So this happens a lot, and this actually happens on our blog site as well, where you have CMS columns, and the next thing you know, you have a column that's broken. So here's a tip. All right, I'm going to go a little bit over time. All right, so let's do this. Am I logged in? I'm guessing it's this one. Alright. I'm going to show you guys something for your dynamic sites, and I figured it out. When you have multiple columns of things and they're not the same, say they're not the same they don't have the same size content. So let me get the text from text description. Okay. Cool. It's happening here. Okay, see what's happening? We have column, 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 and then we have column, 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 and then this is just broken. Why is this happening? Now, the reason why is because look at the paragraphs. 2 lines, 2 lines. Okay, so they're all even. 2 lines, 1 line. Then that breaks the next one, which is 2 lines and 2 lines. How do we fix this? All right, so here we go. We have a dynamic item. Hold on. Okay, so on my dynamic list, actually, I'm going to make it a flex box. Okay. And now, also on the dynamic list settings, we don't want the layout to be 3 columns. We want it to be full width. Okay, so making it full width means we have more control using Flexbox. Okay, so this is Flex, and now I'm going to go to my dynamic item here, give it a class name of Flex Child. And so now I'm going to fill empty space. Actually, no, I'm going to set a sizing of 33.33333%. Uh-oh, am I doing this wrong? There we go. Oh my god, I thought I knew how. And then isn't the... Oh, yes. Go back to the flex right here. Wrap children. Boom. Fixed. So now this one. So what did I do? I set this dynamic list right here to flex. Okay. And then I wrapped its children. And then I went to one of the dynamic items and gave it a class name of flex child and set the sizing to 33.333%, which means 3 columns, or I can do it, 25% for 4 columns. Okay, but they'll all be fixed. And there we go. Yeah, Anna's saying wrap children, Bob's saying wrap them. Yes, so this is how you fix dynamic collections or dynamic lists on your page, so you don't have that weird break. And I'm going to do that to our blog, because if I go here, let me go to freelancing, and I notice this happens. Look at 2 lines, 1 line, broken. 2 lines, 1 line, broken. So yes, I'm gonna fix this right now. So there's your tip. Try it out. Thank you guys so much. For joining me. Let's just go through the sign up, shall we? Every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, I will be here live streaming at webflow.com/workshops. You can see all the archive videos, webflow.com/workshop-archive. Hit us up on Twitter at Webflow app, or you can talk to me at The Pixel Geek. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/Webflow. If you have any account billing technical issues, let us know. Send me an email at support@webflow.com. Join our huge worldwide community at forum.webflow.com. They're always there to help. We want to grow as a community and make awesome websites. And what else? Am I missing anything? To everyone in the live chat room, Naweed, Anna, Bob, Jorn, Vladimir, and if I didn't get your name, I'm sorry, but thank you guys so much. I will see you next week. And as always, like I always like to say, make the web beautiful. All right, see ya.